Welcome to the Corporate Learning Network videocast. I'm Jeff Cattell. Today I have with me Mark Kastner, Group Director of Talent Portfolio Management and Learning Development at Coca-Cola. Mark will be speaking at this year's Corporate Learning Week, November 12th through the 15th at Disney's Yacht Club Resort in Orlando, Florida. Mark, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
So just getting started, what will you be speaking about at this year's conference?
What I will be speaking about at this year's conference, and I'm very excited about being at the Corporate Learning Week, we'll be speaking about social technology and social learning and how we use that to build the capability of our associates, as well as how do we use social learning and social technology to engage our associates to help build their capabilities.
Great, great. So from your perspective at Coca-Cola, what have you worked on in the last year in terms of learning and development?
We've been working on several things, and specifically around social learning or social engagement. And as we think about a multi-generational workforce, we continue to look for new ways to engage our associates and develop their capabilities. So one of the things that we've been working on is how do you build in the social technology or the social learning into the various programs that we offer to our associates to help build their capability.
Wow, that makes a lot of sense. That's some really cool cutting edge stuff there. So in terms of the technology that you're mentioning, you mentioned this social technology. What kind of other technologies do you have at play with your learning and development at Coca-Cola?
Well, we use traditional e-learning, but I think what we're trying to do is really take a 360 approach, or commonly referred to as blended learning, right? So being very purposeful in what we use for specific programs to make sure that we're meeting those learning objectives, right? So it may be a simulation, maybe an e-learning module, maybe a combination of those. A couple of our programs, we actually introduced a business simulation this year that allows our mid-level managers to run the entire organization for a over 3 years, and then basically get feedback for after each year that they run the simulation. But one of the things that we wanted to do is not have the simulation end after that 3-day workshop. So the simulation continues for 6 months, and those associates that are in their learning teams, they're an executive team, they keep meeting for each month, and they actually ping our system that then gives them a challenge that that particular executive team is facing, and then they have to give that response back.
Great, great. So it sounds like there's a lot of technology that you guys are utilizing. So when you're looking at it, how do you avoid using technology just because it's available for technology's sake?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and as a learning community, it's easy for us to fall into the trap of, let's use gamification, or let's use e-learning, or let's use a simulation, or let's use all of them. And I think what we've tried to do is be very purposeful in regards to really matching the technology with our learning objectives and what it is that we are wanting to accomplish, and specifically be very targeted. So if we think that a course needs to be a blend of a simulation and also include some e-learning modules that may be done in advance, and then you have the classroom environment and add on to that a social learning component, if it requires all of those to have that 360 approach and it's purposeful and makes sense and achieves the objectives, then it makes sense to use that technology. But just to add it in just for the sake of adding it in, I don't think is being very purposeful.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So looking at your workload, what do you find are the biggest challenges you face as a learning leader today, and what are you doing to address those challenges?
Yeah, I think that we're, those of us that are in the learning profession, we're faced with lots of challenges, and specifically what I mean by that is that the organization looks to us to be able to build the capability of the organization, and you have to be able to prioritize what is going to be those things that help create a differentiation between you and your competitor from a capability perspective, right? So again, it goes back to what can you do to build capability within your organization that will give you the biggest return on investment and also help differentiate the capabilities of your associates from your competitor.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. One of the things I know that's a big discussion in the learning community today, and I don't know if this is specifically at Coca-Cola, but at large, people really are concerned or feeling more pressure to be able to show a return on investment or the worth of their very specific department. And that's not just an L&D thing, that's in every department, right? But so how do you, as a learning leader, show your department's worth or ROI to executive level management?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I mean, we're always challenged with how do we show value or how do we show a return on investment for specific programs. Some programs are easier than others. For instance, we developed this year a program for very senior leaders in our organization. And going into the design of that program, I remember one of our most senior leaders saying, we probably will not see a return on this program for several years. Now, we know what we're looking for, specifically from a measurement and metrics perspective, but we're looking at the long term, right? So that's one example. Some other programs, it's actually much easier because you can tie it to a specific business metric, right? So if we increase the capability of this group, then we should see increases in productivity, we should see decreases in turnover or increases in retention, or specific business metrics should improve. So we are very deliberate in trying to make sure we identify one or two business metrics that can link directly and be influenced by the learning program that we are executing.
Great, that makes a lot of sense. That seems like a very tangible way of looking at it. So before I let you go, I know you've been chatting for a while now, but what are you most excited about at this year's conference?
What I'm probably most excited about is being able to network and interact with other professionals in the community and being able to share best practices, learn from others about what they're doing within their organizations that we can use within our own organization. So I'm most looking forward to being able to spend time and interact with others in the learning community.
Great, great. Well, we look forward to seeing you November, Mark. Thanks, Mark. That was
Thank
Mark
you.
Kastner, Group Director of Talent Portfolio Management and Learning Development at Coca-Cola. To learn more about Mark or any of the other speakers at this year's event, you can view a full agenda by clicking the Download Now button below. Thanks for watching.